Thanks for watching my video today. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you can be notified when new content is available. Villainous Potion is here, and I'm excited about it, and I was very thrilled with how quickly I was able to get it. All right, so here is Villainous Potion. It is a deep purple, yay. It's perfect for October. It's perfect for Halloween. And putting my gloves on because sometimes this can get a little messy. I'm okay with that as long as I'm wearing my gloves so that I can, you know, keep my hands clean and things like that. Okay. Here's this part. See how nice and dark purple it is. That's the acrylic paint. It comes in a little bottle with a flip top, and I haven't even shaken it up yet, so really it probably needs to be shaken a little bit. All right, so let's get some paper to play on. I like this paper, it's just that it is not white. And I'm gonna use a sheet of the Vicky Bouton mixed media paper, which is watercolor. It's 140 pounds, so it is nice and heavy. And I would say very good for using the distress products. It takes water, liquid media very well, okay? So, do I know what I'm gonna do on top of this? No idea, but, okay, so we've got, oh, I just love the embossing. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about this really quick. So, in the store, you can get the entire bundle, all these products right here, the 2 inks, the re-inkers, the spray stain and oxide, the embossing glaze, and the acrylic paint. These are the products you can get, all in a bundle, all in the store. I have 2 more bundles left. One is sold. Guess who bought that one? And 2 more bundles left. And they are a little bit discounted from the retail if you buy everything together or separately. You can also get, if you just want to do the ink, you can get the distress ink with the re-inker. You can get the oxide with the re-inker. I really recommend doing that just because then you don't have to wait to reorder. You don't have to reorder another one. You don't have to worry about if it runs out or if it gets a little dry, especially if you like to do ink blending. You might find that it will dry out a little bit, or you'll use a lot of it because ink blending does tend to use a lot of ink. So keep that in mind. You can get those together. There's a little bit of a discount if you buy them, this one and this one together. The glaze and the paint and the sprays, you can also get those individually if you want. If you only like spray, you only like the glaze, got all of those separate. I have limited quantities of those though. And the inks in these guys too, you can get those separate. Everything you can buy separately or bundle it together. And if you buy the whole bundle, obviously it's over $30, you get free shipping. If you stock up on some other products, you can get some other colors. I have a whole bunch of other colors. I still have some prize ribbon from the last release. So go check that out. I don't have any bundles of prize ribbon. I never put it as a bundle, but if you're interested in it, I think I have all the products to do a bundle. So if you want a bundle of a previous color, I can check and see if I have all the products to do the bundle, and I can give you the price on the bundle for that, okay? So those are what I have. Now, I'm gonna put these to the side. I've seen people use the Distress ink as a liquid watercolor. So keep that in mind. It's very pigmented. I've used it as a liquid watercolor and it's very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of this. Let's see. What I didn't grab was, I'll just use one of these, my little daubers. Okay, so remember, we're just gonna do it on the white. I haven't played with any of this at all. I literally got it and I took it out of the box and I said, okay, I'm gonna play with it now. All right, so I'm just gonna do this one here like this. This is Distress, so this is not gonna be as chalky as the Oxide, but it is nice to use for blending if you want a little bit darker colors. And I did load images onto the site so you can see examples of these, of the inks with these. I'm gonna use a different one for this so it's not contaminated or cross-referenced in any way. Oh, I can just... I know a lot of card people really like to use the oxides as a blending for ink blending. I'm still learning to do that, so you know, you can get an idea of what it looks like here. You can see that the Oxide and the Distress are a little bit different. I always feel like the Oxide has a little more chalky feel to it. Okay. And then to see what it looks like when you activate it with a little bit of water, because that is the magic of Oxide. And I believe that Distress is the same. It's not going to look the same exact way because it's not Oxide. If you want any of these, go to peacecraftlove.com and you can pick up the all of these inks. All right, I'm going to just dab that up so you can get an idea of what that water does to that. You can see. I really like to use a stamp and put water on the stamp, and then it pulls up the ink. Okay. So that's the Distress Oxide and spray, ink, Oxide and ink, okay, blended, kind of, with a blending foam. I also just put in the store the mini blending foams that have a dome top, so they're a little bit easier. Ooh, that is just a beautiful dark purple. So lovely. And then we can flip it over. Did you see? Okay, we can. And then we can flip it like this. And that ink is very juicy. There we go. Also a page from my Diane Reevely Dilutions little journal here. It's like my new mop-up journal. This is the Distress Spray Stain. It's the Distress ink in a spray form, so it's a little bit more fluid. Okay. So dark and pretty. I'm not even really a big purple person, but yeah, I like it better than red usually. Okay. So now you can clean your stencil with the baby wipe, because this is water-based, so it cleans up with water. That's why it reacts to water, but it also cleans up with water. Now, let's do the same stencil, but we're gonna do it with the Oxide. Oxide you have to shake up. it says stain. It says you should shake it. I never shake it. It doesn't have a mixing ball in there like the oxide does. But you should definitely wipe it off, even though I didn't listen to my own rule. So definitely wipe off that nozzle so that it doesn't get messed up, okay? Okay. Here we go with this one. Wipe that off. That's that, and then flip. You always get more from just the stuff that came through the stencil than you do from the initial stencil, but it's okay. Lots of beautiful purple. Dots, dots. This is a Dina Wakley stencil. It's from it's Dina Wakley, but it's from the Crafters Workshop. And you can see how much I use it and don't ever clean it. But that's when I use normal acrylic paint that I haven't been very good about cleaning it, but I do like it. Okay. So we've done the spray oxide, we've done the spray stain. Now, I mean, you can see, like, to me, the stain is just darker. It's just darker. All right, so then what we can do is, let's see what happens. We just, because this soaks in because it's already wet. I mean, it's so wet, it soaks in. So it doesn't get the same oxidizing that it does when you do directly from the ink pad. But it reacts to water and it reactivates with water. So you will see some of that. You'll see a little bit of the lightening with the water. It lightens up. All right, this is oxide. This is stain, or just distress. So they both do still reactivate with water, but I think if you, I don't know for sure, don't quote me. I need to find out if you heat set, it's better. It won't smudge as much, but it's not permanent. You can get micro glaze, which I have in the store. And micro glaze will supposedly do something to help set it so that it doesn't go anywhere. But okay, so this is oxide. This is stain, just plain old distress. Here's a piece of just normal watercolor paper, since this is all pretty much covered, to use for the acrylic. What should we do with acrylic? Should we do the dots again? Yeah, might as well. And grab my gel press 3x5, which I love to use as a, just as a, as you can tell, as a palette. This is a very fluid color. I mean, it's a very fluid paint. So I don't typically use it for gel printing because it's so fluid. Makeup sponge from the dollar store, but they can't be all dried out because then you don't get any sort of, it doesn't go through the stencil. And to be honest, I haven't really used the acrylic paint that much. So I have them. I've gotten them for all the new colors that have come out. I've gotten my own so I can do this kind of demo with them. But I don't reach for them because I don't make a point to reach for them. I usually grab my big bottles of paint. Mostly just Payne's Gray. So, you can see it lightens up as you use it up, which I would assume most acrylics would do. I think you can see that, can't you? This is watercolor paper, so it is, I feel like it's sucking the paint up pretty well. I'm just spraying it to see if it reacts like oxide ink would do. It doesn't really look like it's activating, which is fine. That's good. I just wondered because it's a water-based fluid acrylic. Yeah, these are, like I said, when you put it on there, you can see that it is just, I mean, it's fluid. That's fine. You know, if you did something like one of Dina's, here's one of Dina's aloe. This is just a normal acrylic. Very different in the body of the paint. It's not gonna drip. But you could still use it in a similar way. That was just because I had water. I was just curious what would happen if I did it. So I had water on the page and I was like, what's gonna happen if I do that? Ooh, it's so smudgy and pretty. And then nothing really else is happening because, yeah. Ooh, that's really pretty. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love that. The last thing I want to do, and this requires, I should have done it first because it's powder instead of water. But I'll show you what I do for my embossing glaze, which I love. Have you seen what I do with my embossing glaze when I stamp? I stamp a word. I stamp something with the Distress ink color, okay? Because I'm not really that big on embossing, but for some reason I feel like the embossing glaze it's okay to be weird with the embossing glaze. That's how I feel about it. It's okay to be weird. So I have these giant coffee filters. They come in a giant box like this because they're made to go inside of a cone thing, which I have. And then what I do, because I saw somebody on a YouTube that used regular coffee filters. And, you know, I have those. I have large ones because I have a large coffee maker. It's a bun and it uses extra large coffee filters. But, so what I'm going to do is, what I like to do, what I've done before, this one I just did with clear, but I stamped it with the Distress ink and then I embossed clear over the top of it. So what I want to do with this for the sample is for demo purposes. Okay. Here is my book of stamps. Isn't this perfect? Villainous Potion. I put a spell on you. All right. So we're going to stamp it with Distress ink first. Stamp it first with Distress ink because then if your embossing isn't perfect, nobody will know. It'll just be part of the look. Also, I think this way it makes it a little bit darker. So it might not give the truest opinion of or idea of what the ink actually, or the embossing, even if your stamping isn't perfect. So there's Distress ink. I know it's a little crooked, but that's okay. This is just a sample. And then really quick, I'm gonna clean this. I got a little excited with my filters. I'll put this over the side. All right, I'm just gonna clean this off with water because see there's ink all over there. And my water and a paper towel. And then my favorite thing. Okay, are we ready? Embossing dabber. Embossing dabber. I'm just gonna dab this on. It's great because I know I'm getting all of it, right? Because it's lined up on the on my positioner, my stamp positioner, it is going to stamp it in the same place. Okay, and then after that is this fun part. Okay, so this has been stamped with embossing ink. Now I'm going to get my filters, sprinkle liberally on there. Maybe I just like the embossing glazes because they have a wide mouth on the jar. I don't know. Most of the time they don't seem to stick as much to the paper unless there's embossing on it. You know, I didn't do that thing with the powder. I never remember to do that. Okay. But I do have several of these embossing glaze from the Distress products in the store. There's multiple. There's lots of different colors. Oops. Goes everywhere. I even have the older colors. Okay. So the fun part is dun 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 dun. Let's do some embossing. All right, I got my little tweezers. All right, here we go. There is your Distress embossing glaze for Villainous Potion, but it's on top of Distress embossing or Distress ink. Okay, so you can see this is actually how it goes every time. I don't think that has to do with it being too hot or anything. That is pretty much how the glaze looks when it, and also the stamp itself is not a full smooth stamp. So, okay. I'll do one more really quick because I want you to be able to see. Let's just do it this way. If you stamped in clear, it would be hard to see, but you could do it that way. I mean, you could stamp it in Distress Oxide ink underneath too, but that's kind of how it looks. I love to do the Distress ink underneath. I think it just adds to it, and those two seem to be a little bit different as far as the coloring goes. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, really quick recap is embossing glaze right here. Distress Oxide. This is just the ink pad blended on there. This is the Distress ink blended, and then I sprayed some water on it. This is the spray stain and spray oxide with a little bit of water sprinkled on it up there and a little bit of water down there. And then embossing glaze, and what was the other thing that we did? On this one we did the acrylic paint and some water got on there, and that was really fun. So that is the demo of all of the Distress color products in Villainous Potion. You can get a set on the store. There's a slight discount if you buy the whole set. Free shipping on that one. Free shipping on anything over $30. And if you want to just get the ink and the refill, or the inks by themselves, you can. Those are all in the store too. So everything's there. Go check it out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm going to sign off now. So have a wonderful Saturday.